So I spent a good chunk of yesterday driving, 200 miles plus, and as I was coming home, I decided that I would pop into a collectible store in North Wales, which I'd heard of from the Leicester Vintage and Old Toy Shop channel, and this was called Plastic Crack Collectables. And it was a really, really interesting place. It was single floor. It was very sort of densely packed, and it covered a lot of sort of time zones, if you like, in terms of what it was actually collecting. But many of which overlapped with my sort of interests, which was nice, because that's not always the case. You don't always know when you're going in what you're going to find. And this is why I like doing these videos, because it means that you can check these places out before you head to them yourself, and just see sort of what the crack is and whether it might be of interest to you or not. Because if you're not in the North Wales area, it's a long way to go potentially to go and check out a place on spec. I happen to be going down to North Wales anyway. It's where I'm from originally. So that's why I was heading down in that direction, and I just thought, I think I've got time as I'm heading back, and I'll just sort of pop in and have a look. So of course, as is often the way with me, like an hour later, and my wallet's slightly lighter, I left the place again, and I will do a pickup video a little bit after this one. I didn't get loads and loads, but I did pick up a few little bits, just as a sort of by way of thank you for letting me video, really. Although interestingly, I think the chap who runs the place is called Neil, but he wasn't there, so it was his parents who were looking after it, bless them. So they were they looked after me as best they could, and opened various cabinets and things for me. So I was grateful to them for the time and the patience as I sort of meandered around the place with my phone filming. So without further ado, I will show you around the place. Cheers for now. Nice Daleks on the roof there to make sure that you know that you're in the right place. I love that. And this one is even brighter. See, there really is no missing the place. It's a very, very clever bit of marketing, that, fair dues to them. A bit of Grogu in the window here. Deadpool, Mario. Little Funko Pops, which aren't really my thing at all. So I didn't show you the right-hand side window. Don't know why. Apologies. Nice Batman pillow down there. So we've got He-Man, Ultraman, Kaiju generally, Godzilla. I've never owned, and I'm going to pick up a He-Man toy at some point. I've never owned them. That's where my Bucky O'Hare came from. You'll see him again in a little while. I'm not sure where that mountain's from. Nice bit of Ultraman there. So I suspect the owner is quite liking his Japanese films of yesteryear. So these are all pretty old school Godzillas here. And some of his some Ultraman adversaries there as well, I think. Now, Dragonflies is a toy I've never seen before in the flesh, but I do remember them from when I was little. So I know of them as a range, but I can't say that I've ever actually owned any as such. So here we've got very sort of American football-y knickknacks, and sort of quite a little bit of a Jaws section as well, which is the first time I've seen that. Some more anime stuff here. There's a sort of Robotech hat there, which I noticed when I realised what the tag was saying on it. That robot winch truck, that was sold for years. I really wanted to get those marbles as well. I nearly did, but then I didn't. A few box transformers there. Ratchet, who of course looks nothing like he does in the cartoons, which is entirely as it should be, because he never did. I did have Ratchet actually when I was little. I do remember it being a bit of a chiz when it turned out that they were going to change his cartoon and comics form to something completely different compared to the toy. But anyway, I digress. Captain America shields, Fantastic Four, Marvel Universe stuff, various, but the sort of the new sort of retro releases, I think there. Various stuff above your head as well. You've got to look up in this store as well. It's important to look up. Various sort of figurines from anime shows I'm not familiar with. Not really my sort of bag, those ones. Again, Funko Pops, I'm not very familiar with what's what in the Funko Pop world. It's not something I collect personally, but should you wish some, there are some at the front, and there's also quite a big section around the back that you'll see later on. So it's well worth having a good sort of prowl around. And these guys are living next door to the Star Wars section. So we've got various Grogus on the floor level. A few Black Series figures there. It's nicely arranged though. I like the cabinets. There's a whole different variety of different cabinet styles. Some older stuff here as well. Also like the wallpaper. The wallpaper's good fun as well. it's a lively place. So these aren't sort of ancient Star Wars, because obviously they wouldn't just be kind of out like this. But there's there's a good range of stuff to pick from. You know, if you were just looking for something to pick up on the day, and at least you can have a look at them as well. You know, so which is always nice. So if you know that if there's anything particularly noteworthy here, then obviously do let me know. There's very much more modern ones here, obviously from the sequels. Reproduction Kenner, I assume there. Inflatable lightsabers. I hadn't noticed that as I was walking around, but I do often notice things when I'm rewatching the videos as I hadn't noticed first time around. It's why they're quite useful for me as a reference point, if nothing else. Got some signed Star Wars figures there, and signed Funko Pops. And more Grogus, obviously. You can never have too many Grogus, it would appear. There's a Pikachu up the top there. More Bucky characters there. Quite a good range. I mean, I assume that's quite a decent range of Bucky stuff there, if you were looking for it. This stuff made me think of Gav from Leicester Vintage, because all these sorts of little random robot things on cards here. I've no idea what they are. And Alf, it was Alf and the Bigfoot from the Hendersons. That made me chuckle when I saw them. Bless them. The Incredibles, which I suppose is getting towards vintage sort of age now. Quite a big section on the Incredibles, and the Incredibles 2, of course. There was a sequel. I hadn't noticed the Friends stuff before. A little bits and bobs of Playmobil there as well. So already I was already impressed by the range. I mean, I'd walked around once before I started filming, and I sort of came back in and started moving down the shop again. But it's classic with these sorts of shops, and you just don't know what you're going to get. So you enter the sort of the Lego section here. So we've got some Harry Potter sets here. I imagine some of these are retired now, because they're probably from some of the earlier films. Some board games, little Simon Says game there. Lego creator sets, and something down the bottom there that you'll be seeing more of in another video of mine. He says mysteriously. So all sorts of little sort of bits and bobs, and some much older Lego sets in polythene as well, which was quite cleverly done. So it's not just these kind of borderline modern sets that you can find. There are others in there as well if you keep your eyes peeled. Just some more Star Wars figurines in the end cabinet there, which is a nice sort of display piece, just to tell you what you're going to find when you delve into the little alcoves. And here we're getting into the more sort of superhero-y section, or one of them anyway. Still a few Star Wars bits here. Little BB-8 down there, an Imperial Guard. I'm still looking for a 1989 Batman figure that will fit into one of my cabinets. I looked here and I still can't find one. If I see one now, I'm going to be annoyed. It's a long way to drive back to to reunite myself with it. So we've got. I've seen these in Tesco's and stuff before now. The quite tall, very sort of plasticky figures. So these are all quite modern, I think. I've seen that Cyclops figure as well. That's a kind of a reaction figure, I think, isn't it? More of a sort of recent re-release. Like Man-Bat down there. I quite like this Batman figure actually with the cape, because the cape's huge. I think it's a McFarlane style cape. That's an animated series one. And those are the more modern ones. I've seen those before. So I say it's an interesting mix of sort of eras that you find in here. Now those are trolls, aren't they? I know nothing about trolls. I recognise them, but I don't know much more than that about them, quite frankly. So I sort of whizzed past them. Some more Lego sets here, as you can see. More sort of mainline ones here. Dragony Creator set. I remember that one actually. I don't think I ever had it, but I've seen it on the Golden Exo Knights. You see, now they died a death. They were quite a big line, and they had a cartoon for them at one point as well, but long since passed now, of course. Indiana Jones Lego set there. Didn't notice that before. Quite a few Star Wars sets in there as well. Ninjago, of course, still going. Then the interesting ones down the bottom here, from my point of view, those were some of the older sets that he had in polythene, which I thought was quite a clever idea. I've no idea what these design it yourself things are. They seem to give you sort of base figures that you can do something with, I guess, but I've never seen those before. The actual monkey face one does ring a vague bell, actually, so I don't know what their origins are as such. More super heroics Apocalypse there. It's nice Apocalypse actually. Nice Batman as well, but again it's too big for what I need or can store at home really. It's a radio controlled Dalek, or radio command Dalek actually. No, full radio control actually it says there. I don't know if that's obscure. It looks quite old school, but I don't know. These are muscle men. Now again, this is something I know that Gav from Leicester Vintage is into. I think he collects them, but again, I know nothing about it as a range, and it's not the sort of thing that is me at all. But I thought I'd give you a bit of a rundown. There's Rhyl Superstar down the bottom there as well. That made me chuckle. It's just these little things that catch your eye and just make take you back, you know. I'm not sure I've seen him anywhere before. I think it was just a jigsaw or something. Little Transformers, mini boxes that confused me for a moment because I was wondering what on earth they were. There's some Halo stuff down there as well. What else have we got here? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay. Modern A-Team film figures. Edging towards the Doctor Who section now. I do like that Bat bike, that bike cycle with sidecar. I think it comes from the old 60s Batman film. I have seen it before, but I couldn't remember it from the actual series. So I stand to be corrected on that one. It might have been in the series when Batgirl got introduced, I think. Because I think she had her own... I think she had a bike to get round on. So that might have been her motorbike, and I just don't recognise it. It's possible. Deadpool's areas, Batman and Cat. I like the fact that he's put Batman and Catwoman together. Don't know if that's accidental or on purpose, but it could it could be on purpose. Oh, Care Bears were there. Barbie, Pokemon, obviously. Lego still going. Ooh, that was a bit of an extreme close-up. No idea what they are. Oh, that's right. It was a Lego cowl. Yeah, it was a Lego cowl set. Quite a few base plates there actually, which I thought was quite nice. I used to have those old road base plates. Very useful for world building if you have the floor space and tolerant parents. Overwatch, not a game I'm familiar with. I know of it, but I couldn't tell you anything about it, so don't know if that's of any interest to people. Wonder Woman 84. Oh, they've got little... I quite like those brick sketches sets. I've got one for Batman, actually, and I think I gave someone a Joker one as a present. Got a lot of Lego minifigures. I mean, I have seen other stores that do this, but I think it's quite a clever idea if someone was particularly looking for one, you know. I have no idea whether or not there was M-Tron in there as well. Do you know, I've never had Lego M-Tron. Again, it's one of those lines in Lego that sort of I'm dimly aware of, but I got out of Lego before that came in. That's interesting. No idea how you'd get to it, but it is there, it would appear. Now where am I going? Roblox. That's modern. almost by definition, I suppose. Ninja Turtles again. Jadoon Trooper sound effects helmet, brilliant. Various TARDIS, if that's the plural of TARDIS, I'm not sure. Sounds better than TARDISes. So, Ghostbusters, some loose figures. Like, is that E.T. lurking in the bottom corner? Yep, it is. Cool. Fortnite stuff, Ninja Turtle stuff. Lots of Doctor Who figurines. Lots and lots. So definitely someone who's keen on their Whovian themes, I think, there. Martha Jones. And then this is where things started to get a little bit more interesting from my point of view, at least. It was getting more retro as I went down the store in some respects. Got old Simpson stuff here. Well, I'm saying it's old. I don't know how current Simpson stuff is these days. So E.T. little bits and pieces down the bottom there, which I'm guessing is all sort of very vintage. Old school Ghostbusters. I do remember that chopper from the animated series, actually. I was half tempted to get something from there, but I didn't. Mad Balls, again, made me think of Gav from Leicester Vintage. Beetlejuice. Don't know how common those toys are. Mad Monster Castle. Looks like a Rancor there. Presumably it isn't. I think this is the horror section. What else have we got? Tomitronic 3D. Not one I had, that Shark Attack one. I had a sort of science fiction-y one, which will come as no surprise to you. Chucky. Men in Black. Oh, that's one of the worms, isn't it? From the that make the coffee in Men in Black. Gremlins 2, another bit of Beetlejuice, Lord of the Rings. A few Zoids here as well, which is unusual. There's a snake and a spine fin. Spine fin, I think, were quite late. Now that's it. This is a V shuttle. It's a V shuttle. It's a shuttle from V. We were just talking about this on the Cosmic Council. We were saying that, you know, no V toys exist, and I go and trip across a V shuttle. Bizarre. Lots of Daleks for Gareth from Cosmic Toys. I've no idea if there are any there that he hasn't got. I suspect there won't be, knowing him, but that made me think of him. Definitely some interestingly coloured Daleks, if nothing else. Various other bits and bobs. I half thought that was Mulder and Scully at the top there, but I don't think it is. Maybe it's supposed to be Torchwood figures. It could be. I told you to check the ceiling, didn't I? There's some AT-ATs up there. This is the vintage Star Wars stuff now we're about to get into. The problem with those is they're so expensive, but I did get an Int 4 from here. Because it's almost traditional now when I pop into one of these stores that I haven't been in for a while, I pick up a mini rig because I'm just trying to display a few of them. There's a Hoth base there, I think was complete. Scout Walkers. They had a twin pod, little die-cast twin pod that like I've got. There's a Rancor monster there as well. Well, there's a B-wing up there as well. God, they used to be cheap as chips when I picked mine up back when I was little. They couldn't get rid of them back in the day. So I'm sure there were some really sort of interesting things to have a rifle through. I quite like that Transformers cushion there as well. Didn't get it, but I quite liked it. Now, that Battlestar Galactica Galactic Cruiser, I've got an example of that. I don't believe it's actually Battlestar Galactica. I think it's this generic thing they packaged as Battlestar Galactica. I had that Star Trek Command Communications console. That's why I'm grinning quietly to myself as I look at it, because I did have that when I was little. I've never picked one up again since, but I remember you could pick up the police on it back in the day. I don't think you could do these days, but I think you could listen. I assume that the police radios weren't digitally encrypted back then, so if you just tripped across the frequency and you had something like that, you could listen to it. Centurions, they were bloody expensive, but they were boxed. So it's the same with anything else, is it? If you don't. Oh, that's graded. That was why it was so expensive, right? I hadn't noticed that when I was in. But it's like anything else, it's fine saying things are expensive, but if you can't find them anywhere else, then that's your choice, really, isn't it? It's all supply and demand at the end of the day. That's the Salacious Crumb and the York Village playset, and Atat lurking in the back corner there. Action Man Bits and Bobs, Bionic Repair Station. I mentioned that to Mark the other day. Got Stargate, got Fraggle Rock. Got gargoyles stuff, all sorts of stuff down the back end here. Visionaries there, sectors as well. I don't think I've seen sectors in the flesh before either. Like some sort of motorized A-team thing. Jurassic Park, bits and bobs. This was a really, really fascinating corner of the store for me because there was a lot of stuff here I recognised. Not a lot of stuff I actually had, mind you, but older Turtle stuff there. A few little bits of Starcom. They had Defenders of the Earth as well. I missed those. Action Force. G.I. Joe Star Brigade. Stewie. Hall of Justice. That's a Stargate Death Glider. I have seen one of those before. But not for a while. Yes, we've seen all that. A few more Batman figures, a few more Trolls, Garfields, bit of Garfield recently. Nice Batjet there. I think that's from the animated series. I think. There's a Fort Kerrium from Brave Star. That's a Doctor Doom mask up there. Inflatable Spider-Man, obviously on the ceiling. It'd be rude not to. Pokemon cards there. This is quite an interesting one. Thundercats figures. Again, I've got some modern ones actually, but I don't have the older ones. Then all this random aliens. So I think we were talking about this on Cosmic Council the other night as well, like gorilla aliens and stuff, and sort of Triceratops aliens and stuff like that. Predator capture glidery thing that was quite interesting, but again didn't get it. Basil Brush, boom boom. That'll age me. Ed the Duck, Voltron, all sorts of stuff. Now I'm getting into the Funko Pop zone again. This is the sort of secondary Funko Pop zone, which is not something I'm familiar with. But obviously, if you spot anything there, then do feel free to go and investigate in the store. Lots of Funko Pop. I mean, you can't say he doesn't make use of his space because he really does. It's actually quite, you've got to sort of, you've got to obey a sort of a queuing system, I suppose, to get in and out of the different sort of slots. Because if you had more than sort of 10 people in the store and nobody would be able to move, it'd be like one of those sliding tile puzzles, you can't get past each other. That was the Tick there. Terminator. A Snoopy set. Robocop. You still got to keep looking around, you see. There's still other stuff in there. Demolition Man. All sorts of stuff. And then just this one last little bit that I forgot to film as part of the overall sweep. But that's your lot for Plastic Crack Collectables. But I hope that's given you a good idea of what's in there, because it's a lot. And if it's up your street, so to speak, then get yourself along to North Wales, get yourself an ice cream on the front, and then dive in. So do like and subscribe as ever, and cheers for now.